Locating summer bucks, video number 3. Going into this summer, I had a 3-prong approach going into deer season here in Kentucky. Trip number 1, I wanted to mass set cameras, locate a couple potential bucks to hunt. Trip number 2, I wanted to then cluster cameras on those bucks. And then trip number 3, the one we just did, was micro adjust cameras. Take the cameras that aren't producing, put them in places that are producing, and leave cameras in places that might show us escape routes moving into deer season. So we know that there's going to be a lot going on going into opening weekend. We have been very proactive the last 3 months with locating these deer, figuring out main movement patterns, but a lot of that is going to go right out the window the week, even just the week prior to deer season, because nobody else has truly gotten into the field on a major level until it's deer season. So knowing that, there's going to be a whole lot of uncontrollables happening in that week leading into deer season, and especially the last 2 weeks leading into season, which is where we're at now. So what we did is we got that big 10 point and we've got the big 9 point located. We accomplished that on set number 1. Trip number 2, we clustered cameras on both of those deer. They're big enough. There's other bucks with them that we feel pretty good about. Whatever pattern we figure out with them, we've got other opportunities as well moving into the hunt. And then trip number 3, there wasn't a lot going on other than what we're finding out is that if you are one trail off of these bucks, you're not getting pictures of them. You might not even know that deer exists if your camera is not in the exact correct trail that they are using. It's really interesting. We had 3 cameras on this 9 point on the creek bottom, and he's only using one of those cameras. So we actually moved those cameras a little closer to each other, clustered them a little closer to on trails coming off of that exact point that we think that he's primarily walking on and bedding up on top, because there's some benches up on top, thicker vegetation, there's ponds, and I know the spring as well, and just on the bottom side of that top third up in the ridges. So we feel pretty good about him using this one particular point. And then we need to know, though, are we missing any kind of possible movement on those other trails? And the crazy thing is we're not. We still aren't really getting pictures of him on those other cameras. They're cell cams right now, so I've been keeping track of them on my phone for whatever cameras actually have service, because there's quite a few cameras up there that I know are not transmitting right now just because they've got funky service. So when we get there, we're just going to go through, check the low intrusive cameras that we can get to without blowing out our hunt. Feel really good about what we know about the 9 point right now. The 10 point still up in the air. We don't really have a lot of data collected on him. So that third trip was pretty low key. There really wasn't a ton that went down on that trip, but those minor camera adjustments that we made could be a major deal, because all we're trying to do is get him on camera a couple more times than we were to figure out timing, wind, any kind of weather condition, absolutely anything we can think of to get a little bit more information on that deer. Going into season, they're not going to be moving far at all this time of year. I mean, you've got to get up close and personal to these folks, and they're going to be, especially with him being in the ridges, you're not really going to be able to spot and stalk. You're going to have to just figure out how to get to them without busting them, get set up, and just wait it out, because more than likely he is just taking his sweet time coming down that ridge, and he's just moving real slow and gentle, and eventually making it to the creek bottom hour to an hour and a half after dark. So I'm very excited about actually getting him on camera more often. Pretty pumped about getting after him. Our plan going into opening day, I'm going to get there 2 days prior. We're going to check some low intrusive cameras, and then we're going to figure out a place where we can post up in glass and see if we can maybe catch a glimpse of him in an area that will tip us off to some movement or possibly where he's bedding. Because if we can get eyes on, it's truly game on. So, and then I've got an idea of how I'm going to approach it. I'm going to get up in there a good, midway up that ridge, 'cause that ridge is really long, but I don't want to bust him out yet. I need to get eyes on. If I can get eyes on, then I feel more comfortable about pushing deeper into that ridge. What I don't want to do, though, is I don't want to overshoot him or get so close I actually bust him out of his bed before I even get a chance to get my stand set up and him walk past me. So it's going to be a combination of a calculated aggression. I absolutely love that word. If you followed me for a while, you know how I like that approach. I don't want to go gung-ho, guns a-blazing, and just bust in and bust out all the deer. I need to be aggressive enough to collect the information that I need, but yet not too aggressive that I run my own hunt. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing moving forward. That was our approach into our third trip. We feel good about where we're at. There's a lot of unknowns that are going to be happening in the next couple weeks, and now it's time just to do our hunting thing. It's pumped. It is go time. Deer season in 2023 is no longer off of our weather forecast. Our extended forecast is now showing deer season in 2023, which is the best thing ever. I absolutely love it. When deer season is finally in that extended forecast, I can look at it 5 times a day and scheme all I want. So, which is what I'm doing with the maps already. But thanks for watching, y'all. Please hit that like and subscribe button. This year is going to be fun. We are counting down the days to Kentucky. Kentucky could get really interesting really fast, so keep up with us. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.